Think you're ready to say goodbye to Downton Abbey? Think again. The grand finale may look like an elegant farewell on the surface, but beneath the sparkling gowns, candlelit dinners, and polished silverware, there's something missing. And it's not just any detail. One of the show's most fascinating and beloved characters has vanished from all the promotional material, and that silence might be the most intriguing clue of all. From the moment this new film was announced, it's been framed as the ultimate parting gift to the fans. A final bow for the Crawleys and for every single person, upstairs and down, who has kept the great estate alive for decades. Yes, Julian Fellows has been known to revisit his creations, so technically this might not be goodbye forever. But for now, this is being treated as the end. The curtain is falling, and if the trailers are to be believed, nearly every storyline we've followed since 2010 will be tied off before the credits roll. What immediately stands out in the footage we have is how much of it is set in the sunlit halls and grand drawing rooms of the Crawley family's domain, rather than the bustling kitchens and winding servants' corridors we've come to love. Lady Mary, played once again by Michelle Dockery, appears to have fully stepped into her father Lord Grantham's role. This is no longer symbolic. The weight of leadership is visible in her posture, her tone, and the way the camera lingers on her. But in the 1930s, this responsibility carries new dangers her father never had to face. The hints are subtle but unmistakable. The estate is under financial strain, whispers of scandal drift through conversations, and perhaps most ominously, there's talk that the Crawleys might have to leave Downton altogether. Imagine it. The sprawling estate that has witnessed generations of laughter, arguments, celebrations, and heartbreak standing silent and empty, its very walls echoing with absence. Of course, the fate of Downton Abbey has never been just about the aristocrats who own it. It's also about the people who have given their lives to its upkeep. The cooks who've prepared every elegant banquet, the maids who've polished its treasures until they gleamed, the butlers who've ensured its guests were treated like royalty. These are not just employees, they are the keepers of its memories, the quiet heartbeat of the house. Which is why one particular omission from the marketing is so striking: Thomas Barrow. Robert James-Collier is confirmed to reprise his role, yet he's absent from every teaser, every still, every interview snippet. And this becomes even stranger when you consider that Guy Dexter, played by Dominic West, is right there in the spotlight. Fans will remember Guy from A New Era as the effortlessly charming Hollywood star whose unexpected relationship with Thomas became one of the most tender and surprising developments in the entire series. Getting to that point was no easy journey for Thomas. For most of his life, he lived in isolation, navigating a society that viewed his truth as a scandal to be hidden at all costs. He schemed, lashed out, and built emotional walls as a means of survival. Then came Guy, a man who looked at Thomas not as a servant, not as a liability, but simply as someone worth knowing, worth respecting, worth loving. Their story in A New Era ended with Thomas leaving Downton to work as Guy's personal assistant, a title carefully chosen for public respectability, but one that allowed them to live together in a way that would have been impossible under the Abbey's roof. For viewers, it felt like the first time Thomas had truly been given something resembling a happy ending. And yet, now that we're here at the finale, he's invisible. Could this be a deliberate move to protect a pivotal twist? Or perhaps his story has settled into a quieter chapter, one where he no longer lives under constant threat, far from the political and emotional storms of Downton. One brief scene in the new trailer might offer a clue. Guy stands under the bright lights of a lavish West End theater, performing to a rapt audience, while Anna, Bates, and Baxter applaud from the crowd. If Guy is in London, could Thomas be just out of frame, waiting in the wings, or at home, enjoying the life he's fought so hard to create? Of course, there's always the possibility that Thomas will return to Downton, if only for a moment, walking through its halls one last time, exchanging a meaningful glance with Carson, or sitting in the servants' hall where he spent so much of his life. A moment like that would feel entirely earned after the long, difficult road he's traveled. Meanwhile, the film promises just as much drama for the other characters. The biggest revelation from the trailer is that Lady Mary is now divorced from Henry Talbot. Fans had speculated about his absence in A New Era, and now it's official. The marriage is over. In 1930s England, divorce was still deeply scandalous, especially for a woman in Mary's position. At a time when she is meant to be the steady anchor guiding Downton into the future, this personal upheaval could threaten her social standing and complicate her already delicate balancing act. Lord Grantham, too, seems to be facing troubles of his own, though the trailers are keeping those details under wraps. Cora's brother Harold makes an appearance, and from the look on his face, he's bringing a few complications with him. All of this unfolds under the looming shadow of change. The 1930s were a decade of shifting social structures, political unrest, and rapid modernization. The Crawleys must decide whether to adapt or risk becoming relics of a world that no longer exists. The questions pile up. Can Mary keep Downton afloat despite the scandals and the changing times? Will Robert finally let go of the rigid traditions that have defined his life? Will Thomas return to make a bold public appearance at Guy's side, defying the unspoken rules of his era? Or will his goodbye be a quieter, more private moment? The truth is, the film is keeping its most important answers locked away. And that's part of the magic. Until it arrives, we'll keep dissecting every teaser, every still photograph, every whispered hint from interviews. Each one feels like an invitation to step back into a world we've loved for over a decade. A chance to walk those halls one more time. And if this truly is the end, here's hoping that Downton Abbey leaves us with a farewell as grand, as emotional, and as unforgettable as the house itself.